I care about you a lot, and in reality, you were my number one still.
Hey everyone, I'm Keisha.
I'm Claire.
And we're here to get into Love is Blind Season 6, Episodes 10 through 11, starting with Jimmy, Chelsea, and Jessica. Jessica's back, baby.
Jimmy. Oh, not a church hug.
Nice to meet you.
And Jimmy did not need an EpiPen, might I say. At least we didn't see it on camera.
I said you better have that EpiPen on you because your airways are going to close.
Surprisingly, he was calm, cool, collected.
He was, but Jessica said that she was very nervous.
I was the one who was about to fall out and need a medic.
Her heart was in her butt.
Literally, my heart is in my butt.
I know. So she was very nervous, so I expected more to happen, honestly, from this conversation because it didn't feel even that, sexually charged to me.
I think part of it was that they were both being very respectful of Jimmy's relationship with Chelsea. And this is the moment that really proved to me that Jessica is a girl's girl because, even though she clearly still has feelings for Jimmy, she insists,
I want you to be good to her.
And she, in my opinion, has not crossed a friend boundary. And
yeah,
so I
didn't.
really respect her for that.
I loved her personality in the pods, and she seemed like she would have made a good reality TV villain, to be honest.
It's the truth, and you know it is. Everybody knows it is.
So I kind of wanted some villain behavior from her, but she was giving nice girly. It was lovely.
The opposite of this conversation is Chelsea's conversation with Trevor, where there were some flirty vibes going on, and it was
flirty.
Not cool at all.
I'm glad you kept the bracelet.
Yeah.
I have mine still.
Deep. You want to set it? We need the app. Listen, Jimmy, I'm thinking of your fiance.
If anything, Chelsea is the one who needed the EpiPen because she was gagging
Seriously.
on regret. Homegirl was down bad.
Is this how we act?
Yeah. You're my type, and he knows that. It is what it is.
Thanks.
And just kind of imagining her life with Trevor, different from Jimmy.
I feel like life with you would be really fun, and I feel like you would give me so much love.
And I feel like that was a very, very weird and strong indication that she does not want Jimmy.
Oh my God, he's beefy.
You don't call someone a beefcake. You reserve that for people that you like. She's very interested in Trevor, okay?
That's a beefcake right there.
And I do like the way that Jimmy kind of swooped in. I think he was picking up on the vibes. He kind of came in and diffused the situation because I gotta say, Trevor was not being a good friend to his buddy there.
I feel uncomfortable, Jimmy. I would like a kiss on the cheek.
Okay, well, we are not even Team Trevor anymore because we are hearing some things about his personal life from before the pods.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't exactly forthcoming about his relationship status going into this show.
Maybe he wasn't single.
I don't know.
I think this conversation is unreasonable.
I do too. It makes me really, really, really question what the I've done.
Let's dive into this Jimmy-Chelsea fight about the night out. I am Team Jimmy, okay? Jimmy is just living his life, seeing his friends. He said he was out with his fraternity brothers, which is a red flag on its own, but whatever.
You were already bundled up. You did not have any desire to go with me, and I don't blame you. I was gone for an hour. I went and had one drink.
You were gone a very short time, so I will give you that.
Which I feel is very reasonable time to be out. You went out, came back straight home. You weren't in the parking lot till 5 a.m. talking to your ex-flame.
I don't want to talk about that right this second.
She used this as an excuse to bring up what she's actually upset about.
If it's offending you that I have girlfriends, then that's whole nother issue.
Who were you with last night?
Oh my God, I'm not gonna sit here and talk to you about this.
He apparently had told her off camera that he hooked up with one of his girlfriends that she was introduced to earlier in the series.
I don't have a physical relationship with them. I want you to trust me.
You do though. You do. You told me you her.
And so now she's paranoid that every time he's not with Chelsea, he must be with that girl.
I told you off camera that
I know, but then
I don't want to talk about that.
I'm sorry, but
There's a level of respect. I introduced you to her. I put her in a situation to be on camera.
And I love her.
It's very shady that she said that on camera.
She really betrayed his trust.
I can understand where she's coming from in terms of being suspicious because he did sleep with this friend and now they're very close. But also at the same time, girl, you just got to get over your insecurities. Go into therapy, do something, because there's a lot of projection happening there.
Unrelated, related. I have a bone to pick with Netflix because they've been playing that clip of Chelsea being like, you her.
I know you her and you told me that.
And all along, I was thinking it was Jessica. And then we get to this episode. It's not Jessica. It's some girl that we don't even know. We don't even care about. We don't even know her name. Like, who cares? And it was a letdown.
We got.
We got by Netflix.
I'm a realist. I was just as much a part of this as anybody else.
100%.
And I had real feelings, and they are valid. And I'll be damned if somebody sits here and they can't come back to reality.
Moving on, let's get into Laura and Jeramey, or should I say Jeramey and Sarah Ann.
New couple alert.
No, bad couple alert, because
Seriously.
the way they got together was so shady.
I made the wrong decision in the thoughts. And I think you know that at this point.
After that parking lot fight, Laura stopped answering Jeramey's texts, which I totally get it, girl, because that was not an innocent situation.
She refused to even send her address because he wanted to send her flowers. Like, dude, she doesn't need your flowers. She needs your trust. She needs your truth.
She needed your respect,
Seriously.
and you did not give her that.
So they're done.
I wish you the best.
Same.
Go kick rocks with open-toed shoes.
AD is the shining star of this episode, performer of the week.
To DM him and say, is the door still open? My question is...
I didn't say, is the door still open?
Okay, I read it.
She has questions for Sarah Ann.
My question is, did Jeramey leave the door open for you and him?
AD, call her detective, because she was on the case.
It's the way that he tried to stumble around, like, I just don't know.
Sarah, shut up. He left the door open.
Sarah Ann could not give a straight answer. It was always, well, I think it was my interpretation.
Yeah, and AD was not having that bullshit.
And if anything changes, then I would love the chance to get to know you. And I felt like that was a very, well thought out message.
I hear you, but I think that's kind of crazy, Sarah.
And she was asking the questions that the fans wanted to know, so I do applaud her for that.
I appreciate your opinion, but
I
also
haven't
too,
said my opinion. I think it's really
well, you said
wild.
you think it's crazy, which is, or wild.
So don't finish my sentence, or can I?
We need to know, the timeline. We need to know Jeramey's reactions to her.
She got to the receipts. She got to the proof.
The receipts, the proof, the timeline.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots.
AD not only got to the bottom of the DMs, but also the parking lot situation.
He sent her his location.
Oh, he dropped me off later that evening, and he was not in my apartment.
She says nothing happened, but obviously something happened, because in the very next scene, when she actually sits down with Jeramey, those two just immediately run off together.
What do we do now?
Do you want to go ride jet skis?
They ran off into the sunset on jet skis together. That was the most dramatic Love is Blind exit, and I did love it for the theatrical aspects, but that was for sure a move.
What they did really hurt Laura. I know people gripe on her for being mean and controlling and things like that, but she still had feelings. He still proposed to her. At the end of the day, he made this commitment to her, broke her trust, and then now 3 seconds later is off riding off with this woman.
And we are also hearing things about him behind the scenes, that he was engaged at the time of casting? Yes. I'm not really sure.
Jeramey loves a quick move, because before this show, homeboy admitted on Instagram that, yeah, he was engaged, baby. And then there's a whole discrepancy about the timeline of the house. He was living with this fiance. Apparently, he says he wasn't living with them when they sold their house a few weeks before Love is Blind. But I don't know. I'm not trusting anything that man says, because as we've seen with
maybe that's why his house
before,
was so clean. It was his first day there. It was his first time seeing the house.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's get into Amy and Johnny. Last week, we were hoping, praying, wishing that they would see a doctor, they would learn a little bit more about their birth control options. This week, it seems that they have done some research and they have more conversations about birth control that are just boring, boring, boring.
I know they had this discussion about, how to hyphenate their names, but really it should just be dead-air, because there's really not much to talk about them. We'll have at least one wedding. We know that.
Okay, true. Actually, great point. They'll at least make it to the altar. That's so true, and we need that for the show to go on.
Yeah, because I really can't say the same for Clay and AD. These two have been having the same fight about Clay worrying about his infidelity.
Do you think that's the biggest thing, is that you're gonna cheat?
But it also seems like Clay is just not ready to get married.
No. He has been trying to warm himself up to the idea of getting to the altar by watching old Love is Blind seasons.
I'm actually watching a show and I'm seeing some of the men that are really ready. And I'm looking at myself, I'm like, damn,
I'm a little bit embarrassed by that.
First of all, why didn't you watch these before you went on the show? Shouldn't you do your research before?
I was so confused when he brought up the timeline. Like, baby, you know what happens. You go in the pods, then 2 weeks, you're out in the real world, and then you hit the altar.
For me, I just feel like love is love. Like, why does that date have to dictate?
We committed to a certain timeline in the pods. We committed to it.
And I am so tired of seeing yet another Black woman give and give and give and give and receive nothing in return. She has put in so much work, so much effort, so much understanding, all of this. And he has not once asked, AD, how are you feeling in all of this? He does not check in with her at all emotionally. It's pissing me off.